Welcome to Infinite Models. If you like building aircraft, any type of armor, how about prehistoric or current wildlife? Autos of all shapes and sizes and genres, seafaring subjects of all types, and figures, vignettes, and dioramas, then this group was made for you.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? This is Vince Mankowski, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about an amazing masking film called Parafilm-M. And I'm working on a project that I've been working on for a while now, this 1/48 scale F4J, and you can see I've already got a little parafilm on the tail there. But I applied some decals that I'm going to use as my outline to apply a flexible mask that goes around compound curves, both around the fuselage and down towards the nose, so good compound curves. And I need it to stick but not remove the decals when I pull it off, because I'm going to be painting another color inside of the mask area and then pulling the mask off. So a friend of mine had reached out to me and started asking questions about parafilm and how to use it, where do you get it. And so I thought I'd do this short video on obtaining and using Parafilm-M. So Parafilm-M was actually developed in the film industry in laboratories where they would develop like 35 millimeter and 110 millimeter film and so forth. And the stuff it's a flexible waxy paper that it's a laboratory film, and they used it to seal the bottles on the negatives so that they wouldn't get damaged, both from direct light and steam, humidity in the air, dust in the air, stuff like that. And you can buy this stuff in a 2-inch wide. This is 2 inches wide, or you can get it in a 4-inch wide roll. And I typically buy it from a small tool specialist called Micromark. It's micromark.com, and you can order it, and you'll get a little box, and the spool is about this big. And I don't know how many, the packaging tells you, I don't know how many feet are on this, but again, I'll show you my used one. It's 2 inches wide and however thick, and you just pull this, you roll this stuff off and trim it down. I'll show you how to use it here in a minute. If, like me, you use a lot of this stuff, I went on Amazon and I found this 250-foot roll. This whole thing is one, humongous roll of parafilm, and it is the 2-inch wide variety. It tells you right on here that it's 2 inches wide by 250 feet. And so I have that one. And I went on ahead and I bought the 4-inch wide. This is the really wide stuff. And again, 4 inches wide, 250 feet of Parafilm-M. And so, like I said, I got those off Amazon. I've gotten all of these rolls off of Micromark, and I use it all the time. It's a fantastic masking medium, doesn't leave any oily residue, won't pull up decals and other delicate things. It goes very well around compound curves. And through all of this, the only thing you need to apply it is the warmth in your fingertips to stick it down. So let me show you how Parafilm-M works. Okay, when you take the parafilm, first thing you're going to do is, you notice they have these lines all along the roller that they're just on the whole thing. And I usually pull out a piece, a length or 2 lengths, depending on what I'm going to do. Sometimes when I'm doing little things, I'll cut a half length, and then you have to stretch it. And I'm going to show you how to do this. This is what activates the Parafilm-M. Now, before you get to stretching it, I take a little bit of Windex cleaner, and I clean the surface I'm going to lay the parafilm on. because if you set it on, you know, sanding debris or residue, sawdust, anything like that, it's going to stick to the parafilm and ruin it, and you won't be able to use it. So I've already cleaned from one hand to the other on my workbench, and about this deep. And now I'm going to show you that the protective paper protects the waxy side, and this becomes your adhesive side, not this side. So first thing you're going to do is pull the paper off, and I typically just throw that paper away. And now you need to grasp the Parafilm-M, and I try to make a straight line with my finger and then grab it with my thumb all along this edge and all along the other edge. And you take this stuff, and if you watch, you'll see when it becomes fully translucent. You're going to stretch it out. Now, because you're stretching it, it's going to relax. So that's where I take it. This is the sticky side the paper came off, is on the bottom. And I put that down on the workbench and let it relax a little bit. If you try to put it on right away, it'll relax when it's on your model, and you don't want that. You want it fully relaxed, so when it goes on, it stays on where you put it. So now, this piece I had already pulled, and I've had sitting down there just letting it relax, and it's ready to go on, so I can demonstrate this for you. So the ends where I held it are not stretched out and they're not overly tacky, but everything in between is. And so on this model, if you can see in here where this yellow decal runs along here is a cheat line that goes between the gloss gold gray, and up here is all got to be the flat black for the anti-glare and along the hood. On the vertical tail and the wingtips, there's going to be gloss black. And so I've already applied the parafilm here to the tail and stuck it down. And then I went back with an X-Acto blade and trimmed off on each side where and then you just pull it away, and that's what I'm going to paint. Now, right now I'm rubbing my fingers, and all I'm trying to do is make my fingers warm through friction, because the heat of my fingertips is what makes the parafilm stick. Let me show you how this stuff works. That should be nice and centered in the camera. I'm going to take this parafilm and lay it generally where I want it. I'm going to put two pieces, one on each side. And now that it's in place, all I'm going to do is start gently tacking it into place. And again, the warmth from my fingertips is all it takes to make the parafilm stick. Because I don't want the paint where I'm going to be, the paint that'll be the overflow from my airbrush, I don't want it overspraying and getting other parts of the model, which is why I actually cut this piece so much larger than the area I'm going to be painting, so that this will work out real well. And everything is basically in place. And so now I'm going to come back and I'm going to start trimming out the area that I want exposed for the painting. Now, once you've trimmed away, I'm going to show you how easy it is to pull this off. All you have to do is nick the end of it, and it'll start coming up. And then take your tweezers, and the parafilm comes right up, and you can see that the area where I've put it in place is nice and masked, and this plastic is nice and exposed, ready for the paint. And I will continue trimming around here, and then I will take and drop the second piece on here, and I will trim the second piece, and then I've got coverage all around the nose, all around the tail. When I do the wings, I'll have coverage a couple inches inboard, and I should be able, because I'll put the parafilm out here and it'll come in about 2 inches. That's the width of it. I'll trim the wingtip away and peel it off, and so this will be covered, so I can just touch up the wingtip, have my gloss black wingtips, gloss black tail tip, and the flat black around the hood and the anti-glare panel, and voila, it will all be painted. It's all been masked, and as soon as you're done with painting, I use enamel paints, and parafilm will protect against enamel and lacquer, but it tends to make it kind of gummy because of the carrier in there. The thinner is hot and it'll attack it. Leave it be. It's not going through it, it's just making it a little gummy, and you let it sit. As the thinner evaporates off, all that's left is the pigment and the binder, just like on your model. So after the paint dries, you can come back and pull the parafilm up, and all of that gumminess goes away. It becomes kind of brittle, but it will just peel right off, and voila, your masking is done. I hope that this little tutorial on Parafilm-M has been of benefit to you. Then, if you guys are so inclined, I highly recommend you go out and get yourself some. When you couple parafilm with, the low tack like Tamiya tapes and low tack blue painter's tape, and shoot silly putty and like the MIG masking putties and MRP masking putties and all the stuff that's out there, the more tools you have in your toolbox, so to speak, the more stuff we have in our arsenal to do our models, the better they're going to look in the end. And Parafilm-M, coming out of the film industry of all things and film laboratories, one of the most amazing masking agents ever for scale models. So this is Vince Mankowski for Infinite Models. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Have a good day.
We hope you have enjoyed this Infinite Models presentation.